yes, we are on the road again. Welcome to New Day Cleveland. I'm David Moss, and we are in Louisiana, New Orleans to be exact. New Orleans, however you want to say it, it all means fun. They talk about let your hair down and turn the music up. You're going to hear a lot of great music, see a lot of great scenes. And we talk about road trips, we're driving a lot. This one, bring some good shoes, some really comfortable shoes, because we're going to do a lot of walking, maybe a streetcar once in a while, maybe a carriage or a taxi or two, but it's all about the fun. So let's get the party started with a cup of coffee. Okay, I said coffee. When you come to New Orleans, you don't say coffee, Starbucks, and any of that stuff. You say Café du Monde, right?
Correct.
Café du Monde. So how long has that been here in New Orleans?
It's actually been here since 1862. It's 153 years old.
1860. So is it about the café au lait or is it about the beignets?
The staple is the beignet.
It's really funny, when I walked in here, I saw a bunch of people in here. Everyone's got powdered sugar on their face, on their shirt, all over the place.
Don't ever wear black.
Don't ever wear black. Okay, so I was worried when I got up this morning that you guys might not be open yet when I got here. I got up about 8 o'clock this morning. You were open.
Yes, sir. We're open 24/7, 7 days a week, except for Christmas and the occasional hurricane.
Yeah. What makes your coffee special?
The chicory. It's the coffee and chicory blend, which is the root of the endive plant, and it gives it that flavor with the half-hot milk, whole milk, and it almost gives it a hint of chocolate.
Yeah, it does. It has a really good back flavor on it. Yeah, and different than, well, I mentioned Starbucks before. Starbucks almost tastes burnt compared to this.
Yeah, we hope to be a Starbucks one day, but right now we're fine with our little niche in New Orleans.
Scott, you're killing me. Hope to be a Starbucks. I mean, this place, I see your products in stores all around the world. I mean, you're open every day of the year except Christmas. I mean, Starbucks wish they had this going on.
I hope so. We actually have franchised in the Pacific Rim. We're also in Japan.
I want to take a look at these babies right here. So this is the beignet. I tried to make these at home before. They're good, but yours are great.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
What makes them more perfect here?
Well, hopefully it's our cooks and the way we fry them in the actual cottonseed oil. And it's just, we've been doing it so long, we've kind of perfected it.
It's different than a donut, isn't it?
Yes, sir. It's not a donut. It's a beignet.
It's not a donut. So you try this thing and you end up like everybody else.
Yeah. Don't breathe in.
I didn't think of that. It's really good.
Thank you very much.
It's really good. So, when you come to New Orleans for coffee, you come here, it doesn't matter what time of day. How busy are you like at 1 o'clock in the morning?
Well, on a Friday and Saturday, we're very steady. But in the middle of the week, we use the late night hours as a downtime to clean the store and, spruce up things. But as a whole, if you come here at 1 o'clock on a Friday or Saturday, it's not going to be this busy, but you may have to wait a little bit for a table. It's
unbelievable. So how many people do you think come through here a day?
Oh, gosh. We seat close to almost 400, so thousands, I'd assume. I honestly don't even have a head count.
Great. Do I have any powdered sugar on me?
You sure do.
That's great. Scott, thank you very much. I love Café du Monde. It's a must-stop place when you come to New Orleans. And now we're going to step over almost right next door, like this is part of the French Market, right?
Yes, sir, it is. It's the beginning of the French Market.
Well, let's go to the French Market. Amy, I found you and I found the French Market.
Thank you. I'm glad you found us.
Well, I thought I could find the French Market because it's only been here how long?
Since 1791.
1791.
People kind of know where we are.
Yeah, so what is the French Market? Do you sell French stuff or what? What's that mean?
Well, it's funny. We used to wonder why are we called the French Market. It's not like everyone around here speaks French, although you will find many French citizens and French expats here.
Yeah.
However, it was called the French Market because the French just happened to be in power at the time that the open air market was really flourishing. The Spanish actually built the structure that you see today. The Spanish built a lot of the French Quarter. That's a little known fact, but it was called the French Market because the French just, decided to name it that, and everyone just started calling it that, and the name stuck. So we love it because we're Francophiles here and have a strong French history.
Excellent. So we're talking about open market. So are we talking like a farmer's market or like a tourist souvenir market or
it's
what?
It's both.
Yeah.
It's both. We are open 7 days a week, and every day of the week is a little bit different. Wednesdays we have a fresh food market with Crescent City Farmers Market. If you come back on Thursday, you're not going to see those vendors. You're going to see that filled up with arts and crafts vendors for local artists. And then other days of the week, you come back on Saturday, it's going to be more baked goods and urban growers and selling things like preserves and sauces. So pretty much any day of the week that you come down here, you can see a cooking demonstration, catch a walking tour, river, get a daiquiri, buy some souvenirs. You could buy Mardi Gras beads any day of the year here.
Oh, that
for
is
example.
cool. So Café du Monde is at the beginning of the French
It
market.
is. That's kind of our entrance, our grand entrance to the French market. We're about 6 blocks long, and we're along the river, which makes for a really nice, pleasant diversion. If you get caught up in the French Quarter, you can go make a beeline for the river right next to the French market. See the sights there. See the Crescent City Connection. See the steamboats and the barges, and come back down here to the market. So if you stay along the riverside, either along our colonnade or on the actual river, you're going to end up at the French market from Café du Monde in about 4 or 5 blocks.
You are a wealth of knowledge, and I'm going to out you right now because she is from Cleveland. What do you think of that?
Yes.
Oh my God.
North Ridgeville, actually. Class of '88, thank you.
Hey, Mom and Dad.
Go Rangers.
Yeah.
Thank you.
How about
Hi,
that?
Mom and Dad. Being down in the French Quarter every day really makes me feel like a real New Orleanian, because this is the heart of it all. So
Excellent.
if you come down and spend a few days, you have to come to the French Quarter, because this is where you really feel the history of New Orleans. You do get to see the river, and you also get to see everything that you've heard about in New Orleans. Beignets,
It's beautiful.
eat your gumbo in the French market. You get spices to take home.
You're having a little fun, I can
pralines.
tell.
Yeah, no, it's very fun. I feel really lucky to be down here.
I guess we're doing it right then. We went to Café du Monde, we had some coffee, we saw you, the French market, we heard all great things here. So when we come back, we're going to take a little walking tour and check some things out.
That's great.
Welcome to New Orleans.
Welcome back to New Day Cleveland, and remember I said this is sort of a walking tour as we go through the French Quarter. We're going to use our shoes a lot. Well, look, I found this lovely lady here. What's your name?
Kirsten.
Nice to see you, Kirsten.
You as well.
And behind Kirsten is a whole bunch of bicycles. So what's going on? Are you selling them or what?
We rent bicycles, rent them by the hour, by the day. You can do multiple day rentals as well. And then we also do a bike tour. It's a 3-hour tour. We touch a little bit on the French Quarter, and then we also do a lot of the more historical neighborhoods here in New Orleans. We focus on the Chimay. We got to City Park. You'll stop at the Cultural History Museum along the way as well. Get a really good history of the Mardi Gras Indians, which are a big part of our history and our culture here in New Orleans as well.
That's great. So I don't have to walk everywhere. I can take the bike, take the bike tour, and somebody's going to help me find my way around.
Yeah.
I dig that. But you know what I noticed also when I came? I like the idea of taking a bike. But all this cool antique stuff. You got like a bunch of stores of this stuff around here.
We do. We have 8,000 square feet here. We do mostly imported furniture from Europe, and then we do a lot of architectural salvage. Most of the stuff you see out here will come out of the houses here in New Orleans.
It's great.
Yeah, they're still redoing a lot of them. And so we get a lot of mantelpieces and window stores, and they're redoing them.
So you come down here, you can rent a bicycle, or you can go antique shopping, or just say hello to a lovely lady who everybody is friendly in New Orleans, especially the French Quarter.
Yeah.
It's really fantastic. And speaking of friendly, I'm staying right around the corner. I'm staying at a hotel. It's a French name. Let's see if I can say it. Is it called Le Richelieu?
Yeah, the Le Richelieu.
Le Richelieu. And this is really a cool place. It's been around a long time. The building's been there 180 years. It's been a hotel for 60 years. And the granddaughter's running it now, and she'll tell you all about it.
It's the Le Richelieu Hotel. I'm not really sure of the actual reason why. I mean, I guess because it's French. The French Quarter is, French based, and so it's a French name. It's actually pronounced Le Richelieu, but nobody says it that way. It's in a quiet side of the quarter. It's also very close to Frenchman Street, which has gotten a lot bigger than even Bourbon Street sometimes. And then it's right next to the French Market as well. So it's a very good location. It became a motor hotel in '63. Sam Rosselli actually bought it. And 6 years later, my grandfather bought it in '69. He turned it into, instead of apartments, it was into an actual hotel. We have 92 rooms. We use 86 of them. It has been my grandfather's pride and joy throughout the years. He lived here. It was his home as well as his business. We have about 50 employees, and about 30 of them have been here for 20 years and more. The bar opens at 7 a.m. and closes at midnight. We have a ton of celebrities because of the confidentiality that is brought here at the hotel. So it's very quiet. It's in a quiet end of the quarter. In '75, Paul McCartney stayed here. He was recording his album Wings, and he stayed in room 227 for about a month. Actually, that's a picture with my mother and Tiny Tim. I mean, they all stayed here, you know. They all became friends with my grandfather because he's a very, you know, friendly person. So he makes everybody feel like family. The front desk employees have an idea of good places to eat. There's a bunch of tours that we can give pamphlets to, or, you know, just different things. A lot of people come from different locations and bring us information on their establishments.
What's your favorite things to do here?
My favorite things to do? I mean, I love going to the French market. I love going to listen to jazz and eating. I love eating at really good restaurants.
Almost everywhere you walk around here at New Orleans is cool. Like I'm walking down the street right now, Decatur Street, and check this out. This is a door. Remember we saw old doors, antique doors? Well, this door has been done up by an artist. Some really cool stuff. And we are, well, see, there's Bourbon Street, so that puts us right about here. And you know what I'm starting to feel? I'm starting to feel hungry. New Orleans, man, it is the home of great food, and when people find great food, they want it, and that's why they come to this place for the original muffaletta sandwich. It's called the Central Grocery and Deli, and they'll wait in line a long time to get one of these babies.
Muffaletta. I don't know. What is it called? Quick.
Muffaletta.
Muffaletta?
There, that's it, what he said.
Muffaletta.
I'm waiting for a muffaletta. I'm from California, and I'm here trying one of these sandwiches.
I haven't been here in 16 years, and I can't wait to have another one. They were that good.
A large muffaletta.
One muffaletta. Whole one.
Well,
Well, New Orleans is a lot bigger than just the French Quarter. As a matter of fact, there's a whole bunch of different districts. I see right over there is the Garden District. Over here is Uptown, so this is sort of on the border. And this place is called Casamento. As you see, it says, welcome everybody. Well, if you come here between 11 and 2 o'clock, especially on the weekends, this line goes out the door and down the street because this guy knows oysters. This guy fries oysters. This is oyster heaven.
Well, sometimes it all depends on the business. Sometimes I might do 500 to 1,000, and sometimes 2,000 or 3.
So what time does all the action start here?
11 a.m.
11 a.m. And so people come in for the oysters or for the oyster show out there?
Both.
Yeah, so tell me a little bit about this guy. How long has he been shucking oysters? What makes him the big attraction out there?
Well, we used to have his brother here, and they both used to shuck oysters at other places and stuff, and two very colorful guys, and people just like talking to them, and they're very good oyster shuckers too.
Yeah, so I came down the street, and we were over in the French Quarter. It's a lot different neighborhood over here, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah, it's more neighborly. But now, this section here is become one of the biggest tourist sites anywhere because of all the antique stores and the restaurants and all that. So it's really good, really big.
So we're sort of on the border of Uptown and the Garden District in a way?
Yes, right on the border of it.
Yeah. So you got yourself into a good spot here.
Oh yeah, well.
So that's a pretty good gig you got going, man.
Yeah.
You work from 11 till 2 o'clock. A lot of people like to have that job, huh?
Yeah, well, we open back up in the evening times too.
Oh, you do?
On Thursday, Friday, and Saturday.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
And so what's the thing you're most famous for?
Oyster loaf and the raw oysters and the seafood gumbo.
Hey, so the raw oysters, like you see a lot of people sell raw oysters. What makes the oysters better down here in New Orleans?
The Gulf waters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it like one kind of oyster?
Yeah. Well, different sections of the Gulf have different kinds of oysters, but Louisiana, right border of Texas, all Louisiana oysters are the best. You know, the ones when you go further east, they start getting a little smaller. Still have the taste, but they get a little smaller. Start going further west, they get a lot bigger.
God.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, what do you put on the raw oysters?
Nothing. They go in straight into the corn flour, and then we fry in lard. We don't fry in any peanut oil or anything like that. If you go to other restaurants, you can see them frying in that. Stuff comes out darker, heavier. Ours comes out so light. I mean, it's a lot more work when you're doing it like this. It's not that deep frying and all that.
Right.
The results
speak for themselves.
And that oyster loaf, what is that like? How do you make one of those?
That's that bread actually right there. It's what it is. It's like a big, thick Texas toast. We don't use French bread. My grandfather never used French bread because he said it would go stale the next day and you'd have to throw away, and he didn't like throwing stuff away.
Yeah.
So he came up with this, you know. What it is, it's a regular uncut loaf of bread, and we just slice it up to how we serve it on sandwiches.
Hey, so you mentioned your grandfather, so this is something your family's been doing a long time.
Yeah, my grandfather built this in 1919.
In the same location?
Same location.
Same location? Mm-hmm. That's unbelievable.
Oh, yeah.
And your dad did this too?
My mother, my father, everybody in my family did.
Yeah, so you guys know your oysters?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so here it is. I've got one to the table right now. CJ has cooked this one up for me, and this is just a half. So I said, what do you put on it? He says you can put mayonnaise on it, you can put ketchup on it if you want, you can put hot sauce on it. I'm going for the hot sauce, but he did tell me that if you're an old timer and you do it the right way, all you use is a little butter on the bread. Casamento's sounds pretty good to me. And so does New Orleans. Delicious. New Day Cleveland comes to New Orleans, there's only one place to stop for oysters, and that's Acme, because it's Stormin' Norman here, right?
You're right about that, baby.
Yeah, so what you got going on here? Like, how do you know the good oysters from the bad oysters?
Well, you know how you can tell? You can tap it.
And it doesn't sound, oh yeah.
When you tap it, you got that solid sound. When they open, you're gonna have a hollow sound.
Oh.
So, for the ones who don't know, just tap on it.
Now, is it true when you come in here and you actually sit at the oyster bar, you get the better oysters all the time?
Well, you can.
You can, huh? Yeah, I noticed that.
I mean, actually, you can pick which ones you want. It's not.
Oh, look at that.
It's not variety. It's just that if you like big ones, you can pick the big ones. You can ask for the big ones. You like small ones, you get the small ones. At a table, we just put whatever on the tray.
Yeah.
But if I was to eat them, I prefer to eat them that size.
This size right here?
Yeah.
You like that better than that one, huh?
I don't really care for them.
Oh, that's funny.
But I eat them.
So how long you been doing this?
Since 1979.
1979.
Lafitte Hotel.
You know, when I see you do this, it's like you don't wear a special glove. You don't wear, like, use a cloth.
I'm not even paying attention to what I'm doing.
Yeah. That oyster's talking to you.
I feel it.
Yeah.
You know, like being a musician, like playing drums or something, you just know what it hits.
Yeah. So what's it like for the customers that come up here? If they sit at the oyster bar, how is it different than sitting out in the restaurant?
If they're sitting out there, they're not gonna get what they could get up here.
No.
So they're not gonna have me out there.
No, that's for sure.
Yeah. Me.
Hey, so is it
like these guys here?
Yeah.
He Alabama, he California. Where you guys from?
Philippines, Houston.
Philippines and Houston. I had some great food in this place too. I mean, we had some catfish here that was great. The fried oysters. How about those oysters they make? They char grill those oysters too, huh?
That's cholesterol.
Yeah, I never had something like that before. Do you know what they put on the top of those char grill?
That's butter and Romano cheese.
Butter and Romano cheese and a little hot pepper sauce too, huh?
Well, actually, they put cayenne pepper in the butter.
Yeah.
And you just mix it up the way you want.
Oh, that's great. And so tell me about that thing. When people talk about shucking and jiving, is it about this?
Shucking and jiving is what I'm doing now.
Shucking and jiving. At Acme,
but you know the thing about that? A lot of people can't shuck and do it.
Yeah.
They like shucking and just having fun. A lot of people can't. Well, a lot of people just don't do it the way I do it.
Yeah, well, that's why
I talk the whole time I'm here.
Yeah. Well, that's why you're the man.
Once we open up, I don't finish till I leave out here.
So what time are you going to stop tonight?
About 4:30, and then I'm going to have me a cold beer.
Okay, I'm going to have me a cold beer soon too, man. Hey, thanks a lot.
So if I see you guys on Bourbon Street, we have us a cold beer.
You got it, man. It's on me.
I'm going to have the fried oysters.
Half fish, half shrimp. So
You can't get no better than Louisiana.
Char-grilled oysters.
In the middle of the French Quarter, and this is where it all happens all night till way early in the morning. And I'm talking about all kinds of crazy music. We got tap dancers, we've got drummers, we've got food, we've got music. We got a whole lot of people having a good time. Let's look around.
Hey guys, you guys want to see some old New Orleans time jazz? You're at the right place. Come on into Fritzel.
When you're smiling, when you're smiling, the whole world smiles with you. Now when you're laughing,
when you're laughing,
when you're laughing,
when you're laughing,
that sun comes shining through.
Tom, I was walking up the street and I heard the sounds here at Fritzel's, and it sounded like what Bourbon Street used to be and should be, right?
Yes, indeed. Well, it did used to be that. You used to hear this kind of music up and down Bourbon Street. And I think we're one of the last places on Bourbon Street to have this kind of music.
Yeah, it's really great. And I get a chance to see the people in here enjoying your music.
Yeah.
I mean, what's that feel like to you?
Oh, it's the best. I mean, it's a two-way street. We play music, and if we get a good response from people, then it just helps us play better and want to do more for everybody.
Let's talk a little bit about us. It's a quartet.
It's a quartet, a four-piece quartet.
Oh, there you go. I get it now. So that's drums, clarinet, bass, and piano. And what was the inspiration for putting this group together? Is this something like it sort of happened because you kept finding the right player, or you couldn't find the right player?
You know, first of all, the inspiration is just that they've had this kind of New Orleans jazz here for 46 years, and depending on the night, we just try to find the best musicians that we can get here at Fritzel's, and there's a pool of musicians. Now it's pretty much the same every Thursday night. We have pretty much the same people. Every Friday night it's a little different, but it's pretty much the same people every Friday. But it's all some combination that all knows how to play this kind of music.
So how important is the clarinet to this style of music?
Well, clarinet is, of course, I think it's the most important.
Let's hear it right there.
That's right. You know, clarinet has been forgotten in a lot of jazz. If you go listen to high school jazz bands, and they don't have a clarinet player. But clarinet is a very popular instrument in New Orleans still, and a very popular instrument for New Orleans jazz. I think it's one of the defining instruments for this kind of music.
Yeah, I saw people coming up here and they're throwing money at you, and they're getting it's at Fritzel's New Orleans Jazz Band. So, are you Fritzel's New Orleans Jazz Band?
We are Fritzel's New Orleans Jazz Band. Our CDs have us along with the banjo player Barry Foulon, who plays here on Wednesday nights, and along with the cornet player who plays here as well. So it's the CD is a combination of all the people who play here.
And you know, I see a wide range of people here. I see really young people. I see people who understand the music, but really a lot of people are sort of discovering the music, even though the ones that love it are going to come here anyway.
Yeah, well, we have some regular locals who come here all the time, We have some older people who already know this music or maybe grew up with this kind of music, and that's great. And then we have young people who are just walking down Bourbon Street, and they kind of look in the door and they hear a little bit and they come in. Either they come in just to get a drink.
What the hey?
And then they're intrigued by the sounds they hear. So we get some young people who say, we do get people here who say, you know, I don't like jazz, but I like what you guys are doing.
Yeah, well, what you guys are doing is a lot of fun. And I was wondering, when you play this music and revive some of the spirits of the past, do you feel the past in New Orleans around you?
Absolutely. There's such a huge tradition. You know, Gerald French, our drummer, his family goes back over 100 years playing this kind of New Orleans jazz. The French family goes back generations.
Yeah.
And so there's a tradition is a very big part of this kind of music. You can't play this kind of music without thinking about all the people over the last 100 years who have played this music. Yeah.
I tell you, you helped make my New Orleans trip a little extra special.
Well, that's good. Well, thank you so much. I'm so glad you came in.
Thank you.
Pleasure talking.
Pick up that clarinet and tickle those keys.
We'll do our best.
Well, New Day Cleveland in New Orleans, and when you come to New Orleans, it's not just about Bourbon Street, it's not just about oysters, it's just not about Creole kind of food stuff. It's oftentimes about the cemeteries. That's why we're here with Ann Gonzalez, and we're taking a look here at a place called St. Louis Cemetery number 2, right?
Number 2, yeah.
So this is number 2, so there's a number 1 somewhere, obviously.
The number 1 is right up on Basin Street, right behind the French Quarter, a little bit north of the French Quarter.
So what do you think the fascination is with coming to New Orleans cemeteries?
Probably the unique style of burial that we have.
Why is it like that?
Well, first off, it's not unique to us. It's unique here in Louisiana, yes, but you're going to find this outside of Paris, Spain, Portugal, Latin America, Argentina. Really, it's rooted in what the Spanish started in the 1780s after the fires. They decided to go with more above ground tombs, burial systems. So we had an in-ground cemetery called the St. Peter, and that was right up in the perimeter of the French Quarter. In the 1780s, the Spanish changed the burial system, and they go with these above ground tombs.
They go back pretty far, don't they?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. I mean, St. Louis Cemetery number 1, 1789, started in the Spanish period, so it's a recycling of the burial process. So if you take this one's probably got 2 shelves, there's 2 here. You can get an unlimited number of people in one tomb.
You really can?
You can. Yeah, so as long as you maintain it and you've kept it going, so it depends on that.
So I could get 10 people in there if I wanted?
Yeah.
They'd be pretty cozy.
Yeah, well, I think there are 10. Look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's 10.
There we go.
So
we just saw one. 2 more and they got a dozen.
So anyway, a brief explanation is you place them in. You would keep the bodies in there for a year or 2, year and a day, depending on when you need it, how long you need it, how much death was in the family. Mind you, mortality rates were very high in New Orleans. We had a lot of yellow fever virus problems with that. But anyway, so you put them in the shelf, let the body decompose, break down naturally on its own. And of course, our summers are very, very long and hot. If we were here on a day in August, you would see what I mean.
Yeah.
There's probably be about 105 in here.
It'd be a little hotter in there.
Yeah, and so the body breaks down, and when he's ready, you would open it, you would take the body out, you would dispose of that, the bones are disposed of, put in the tomb, and the next body can go in.
Oh, really?
So that's kind of
how they do it.
An overview. Yeah, there's a very
So it's more like a memorial almost in the end then.
Yeah.
So these are very popular tours. People do this, and there's all these different
Yeah.
cemeteries you go to. You were telling me there's a famous pirate buried over here? Or
He's down a bit. Dominic Hugh, yes.
he's under the lottery building, $80 million lottery.
He might be. He did very well, yeah. He was a very wealthy pirate that stayed here after the Battle of New Orleans, married very well, eventually went into politics. And so, yeah, we had a lot of piracy off the coast of Louisiana.
You have to catch your breath, you know so much stuff.
So, yeah.
Well, we're going to look you up. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you for the tour. I really appreciate it.
Okay, bye-bye.
Adam, thank you for having New Day Cleveland here to your beautiful Columns Hotel. So why do they call it Columns?
You know, well, it's obvious, you know. So interestingly enough, the columns are right there on the front porch.
It's unbelievable.
That's what it's known for. People just don't even refer to it as the Columns Hotel. They just say the Columns.
Yeah. When we talked about coming here, somebody said, well, when you go there, talk about the bar, because the bar is really beautiful. Well, I couldn't get off the street. I mean, we're not even inside. We're on the porch, and this is maybe the hottest area in the hotel.
It is. This is really practically an extension of that bar, and that's why when people ask about, can you reserve me a table, we're kind of like, you know, it's a bar, for heaven's sakes. Just come right on in. We can't start a bidding war on tables. You know.
The thing about these rooms, every room you look in is like looking into a jeweled jewelry box.
Exactly. That was part of the Victorian style in that period, that there might be a common theme, but the common theme was that everything overlaps and blends with each other while everything has its own theme. So it was done in a plush, rich environment just to have just an overabundance of.
Yeah, so it sort of reminded me from when I first time I walked in here, you're looking at the walls, you look at the floor, but next thing you know, it's like a tourist walking down the street in New York City, looking up the buildings, because you can't soak in enough of the beautiful ceilings.
That is true, yeah. 16 to 18 foot ceilings, crown molding, you know, that's actually all original to the house. The house, particularly the first floor, is in just as much original condition. There's maybe a few spots where the ceiling, you know, was done over, but it's all original.
The bar is an old school bar, but it looks like it could cook in there too. I mean, what a great room. I mean, you wouldn't mind lying on your back in that room.
No, that's right.
Okay, so all I can say now is you could talk to Adam here probably for a couple days about this place, because there's enough to talk about. There's the beautiful food, the beautiful bar, the beautiful porch. Everything is beautiful. Fantastic place. And once again, thanks for having New Day Cleveland to the Columns Hotel.
It's always good having people visit us.
A great surprise in New Orleans. Thank you, sir.
Seafood bouillabaisse.
Well, it's a real honor for me to meet you, Jacques.
Nice to meet you.
I tell you what, man, I was here a whole bunch of years ago, and I was doing a job, and I came here, and it's like one of those places I want to get back to.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
So that's what Giacomo's is all about. We give something that you will remember.
Yeah, you know, I think first time I read about the place, it might have been like in Gourmet magazine or one of those big food magazines or something like that. And what do you think has been the magic for this place? You've been here how long?
Over 20 years. So,
20 years.
Yeah.
So you got to do something right for a long time to keep it like this.
We're real New Orleans food. We got something for everybody. We're outside of the French Quarter. So we have a cuisine that's diversified into Creole, soul food, Cajun, little New Orleans. So there's something for everybody here, and it's a nice, comfortable atmosphere, casual, but you know, real New Orleans.
Okay, I saw some really interesting things on the menu too. You use duck a lot. You don't see everybody do that around here.
I use duck. I use rabbit. A lot of this stuff. Louisiana is sportsman's paradise. We have a lot of hunters, and a lot of people do hunting. Myself.
Yeah. You're from around here, right?
No, I'm from Syracuse originally.
Really?
So,
yes.
but
you went to school here?
I came down here in the Coast Guard, and I learned how to cook here, and started my career. Fell in love with New Orleans, so I'm a local now.
Yeah, that's excellent. I look around the place too, and it looks like you must have had like too many paintings in your house. You had to do something with them.
Oh, I enjoy our artists. I mean, our artists we have music, our art, everything about New Orleans. There's something, and I try to have some of that flavor and everything we do here at Giacomo.
I love it, man. Great flavors, and if you're thinking about like authentic authentic Louisiana, New Orleans style food, man. You come here, the wait is worth it. And I tell you, this street, this little area right here, there's a great bar down the street. It's got killer music.
Right.
A neighborhood place that's out of this world. Giacomo's, man. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Giacomo.
I would like to say this is a new day discovery, but this is something a lot of folks have already discovered, a fabulous place called Square Root. This is Philip. Chef Philip, is that what they call you around here?
They call me a lot of names, but
They call you a
Chef
lot of
Philip
names.
is the best one, yeah.
It's really cool. You come in here. What part of New Orleans is this?
This is considered the Lower Garden District, so you are probably a 2-minute drive from downtown.
Okay. So it's easy to find. It's on a big street. What's a magazine is it called? Or?
Magazine is the main thoroughfare here in the Garden District, and it actually goes from the Lower Garden District where we are all the way up to the river bend, which is where the Mississippi turns. And Magazine is full of beautiful restaurants, great retail shops, high-end, low-end, you name it. Anything you can find, anything you want, you can find it here on Magazine.
And the reason I want to say all that stuff first is because I want you to know that because you're going to want to come to this place. So this is where Philip sort of works a little bit. This is like being on what? Like
this is the mothership. You're standing on the command station right now.
I feel like Captain Kirk here right now, right? So you come in, this up right off the front door, you see this, and this is the beginning of the restaurant. There's seating upstairs, there's a bar upstairs, some great area. But this is where something really spectacular happens here.
Absolutely. This is 16 seats. It's a chef's table, and we do things. We do things that are very, very unlike what you would find in New Orleans, and I think that's what makes it so special.
Give me an example.
Well, I mean, you have. Let's just take it like this. You know, where I come from, growing up in the South, fried chicken is one of the biggest mainstays on the dinner table. So we do a play on that, except that it's a fried chicken cotton candy. And you know, whenever I say fried chicken cotton candy, people are like, "What?"
What?
And so the whole dish is made to mimic the taste of fried chicken, but the textures and everything about it is completely on the norm. But you want to make food that is approachable and comfortable and funny and
fun.
And fun. That's the most important part. So we do a fried chicken cracker. We fill it with a fried chicken mousse. We add a little bit of pickled watermelon or a pickled okra. And then we top it off with fried chicken cotton candy. And when it's just a 1 or 2 bites, but it is a flavor explosion, and it's just a fun experience.
So I see the name Square Root, and it made me think of like mathematics a little bit. So I'm starting to feel it now. So I go upstairs in this beautiful area with the sofa and the bar and another little kitchen, which has a different menu than right here, because this is a special chef's menu. And I see little jars of all the stuff he's talking about, little pickle okra, pickle this, pickle that. So you got a little alchemy going up there.
I wouldn't say a little, there's a lot.
Yeah, I mean, even all like the bitters and all that stuff is homemade, isn't it?
Yeah, downstairs is Square Root, upstairs is Root Squared. It's completely opposite, flip-flop. We have our original restaurant, Root, which we opened in November 2011. It's in the warehouse district. So we want to do a smaller version of what we're doing already over there upstairs, and that's what that is. There's no reservations needed. You can walk right on up there, have great cocktails, great food, snacks, you name it. There's a great gallery that wraps around the building too. You got unbelievable views of downtown.
You can sit outside on the patio, and I also saw those hams hanging in the cooler there. So you make your own charcuterie.
We do. We spend a lot of time. You know, we work with great farmers around the area, bringing in products like pork, beef to cure and age. Because one of the oldest forms of preservation is, you know, pickling and charcuterie. And so we wanted to put those two together.
So you come in this place, I mean, it looks beautiful. You want to touch the walls.
Yeah.
You want to taste the food. You want to smell the air. Chef Philip, you got something really special going on here.
I try, you know, and the whole thing is about the experience. You know, I think a lot of times, you know, when you go to a restaurant, the chefs and the kitchen is all behind these walls, and you really don't get to see what happens until the end result reaches the table. In this case, you're sitting in the kitchen, you're experiencing conversations with the chefs, they're explaining the dishes, and it's a whole sensory experience. The sight, the smell, the sounds, the music, the walls, the floor, and you name it, it's here. It's like Willy Wonka's playroom.
It's fabulous. All you have to remember is Square Root. Thank you, man.
My pleasure.
Nick, I'm not kidding you when I say that. My whole New Orleans experience came together when I came to the little gem and saw Nia Jones tonight.
Wow.
Unbelievable.
Thank you, David.
Yeah.
It's been a lot of work putting this together, but I tell you what, it all really pays itself off when you come in and see this great show.
Yeah.
With our menu.
Yeah.
All put together.
Yeah, you know, it's like old school. You know, like I've been all over the city. I've seen a lot of great things. I've heard some good music. This is great music, and this sort of brings back that old vibe of days past, like almost like supper club kind of way, right?
Exactly. That's what I wanted to do here with my sister Maria.
Yeah.
We wanted to bring back the old supper club that died off.
Yeah.
It was so big in the 50s and 60s.
You see it in the movies. It was glamorous
Right.
and grand. Yeah.
Everybody did it.
Yeah.
And then it kind of went away.
Yeah.
This was actually a special place called the Little Gem Saloon when they were doing something similar back in the early 1900s.
So it's got history.
The history is deep. The history is just beautiful, and you can't buy the type of history that we have here.
Yeah.
This is where jazz started, right here in this building. This was the back of town of New Orleans. This was the area where the young kind of entrepreneur, mostly African American, started out with their businesses. This was all full of tailor shops and pawn shops, saloons, brothels.
Yeah.
This back when
was a
prostitution was legal, also in New Orleans.
Yeah.
So these cats that were here, like Buddy Bolden, Jelly Roll Morton, Kid Ory, they were playing music here with each other. They were hanging out here. And then they were playing for the tourists at Storyville, the famous red light district 7 blocks away. But this is where they hung out. This is where actually they started creating what is called jazz now.
Yeah.
This was called ragtime at the time. They didn't have a name as jazz even.
That's right, Jelly Roll Morton. They talk about ragtime, huh?
This is where it all started.
Jump piano, that kind of thing.
Right. It was fast piano with a beat that was something like this. Faster than any kind of European orchestra or classical music that was brought in by the French and Spanish.
Wasn't it great to see Nia Jones tonight when you see her? Because she plays some of those old standards you've heard other people play.
That's right.
But man, she's like, when she sings, man, it's like a cross between a chime, a bell, and a bird, man. It's just fantastic stuff,
Yeah,
huh?
we love her.
Food looked pretty good too.
Thank you. It is all homemade from scratch, like it should be. All natural. We're doing kind of southern soul food. It kind of fits the motif of this building, of what it used to be.
Yeah.
But we're proud. We're proud to be here in New Orleans. And it's been a great time for me.
It's an opportunity too for folks to get close to the act. You know, like when I came in, Nadia came down, she was dancing with one of the guys. I mean, you're right there on the stage with the people, so it is like the old times, the old days. You know, it's like you're right there with the artist. It's not like you're sitting like 20 rows back somewhere.
You're right, David. I mean, I think New Orleans in general is very approachable.
Yeah.
As a whole, I think New Orleans are friendly, non-pretentious. We welcome people with open arms. And you can actually, you can go to the musicians, touch them, talk to them, and there's no separation. It's everywhere like that. That's New Orleans, I think, the New Orleans way.
I think this is a little gem.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
I had a great time, man.
Thanks so much,
Thank you
David.
very much. Well, we've shown you a whole hour of New Day Cleveland down here in Louisiana, New Orleans, and you haven't seen the Mississippi River? Well, voila, there it is, the mighty Mississippi River. Just one of the many attractions when you come down here to New Orleans. Of course, the food, you saw all the beautiful food here, the beautiful hotels. You know, the Column Hotel I just visited a little bit ago, that's only $200 to $300 a night. What a fabulous place, a fabulous deal, and that's in the Garden District. And over here in the French Quarter, well, all over New Orleans, actually, if you go to a bar and you get a drink, you can get a to-go cup to walk around. So if you want to see a couple different venues, a couple different bands, one drink, walk around, and you can do that. And of course, the entertainment, most of it starts around 9, 10 o'clock at night, so get ready to slow down a little bit and get into the nice, slow, cool New Orleans pace. I'm David Moss, and I'll see you on the next New Day Cleveland. So long.
Thank you.